Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Can you hear me okay? Do you hear me? No? I am hoping you can hear me. Let me know if you're unable to hear me. Yes. Okay, great. Perfect. I thought you couldn't. I also hope that the AC doesn't bother you as much. It's still a little, so we had several days of, well, almost a week of heat wave here in California. Um, it's better today, but it takes a while for everything to settle. So my AC is on. It's 1:30. Ah, I'm so sorry. Oh yeah, hi Tracy. Okay, let's get to it because I know that some of you probably want to be able to rest. So let's get to it. We'll talk about three things today. One is, hi, Misfit. Some of my Patreon subscribers are here. Which reminds me, if you haven't subscribed to me on Patreon, please do so. We do have a free membership. So if you want to just try things out for a bit, then do so. We're there. It's a safe space. I know that a lot of you are looking for a place where you can express your opinion or say some things that are unpopular and not get harassed. That's the place for you. So I hope that you can join me there. Hi from Manila. Hi. Okay, let's get to it. I do have some talking points. As I've said, I know that some of you are very shocked about what not Min Hee-jin, but the Newjeans girls actually did. So they opened their own YouTube channel, released a statement, and then deleted the channel. Okay, so I'll say what's on my mind, like my impression, my reaction to it, and then we can discuss. We'll also be talking about album versions because I got a lot of questions about how acceptable it is now because people are just making like 80 versions of one song or one album and just so they can sell more and rank. And then we'll talk about solos. I've also gotten a lot of questions about that. Okay, so first from New Jeans. Hi, Mary Jane. To those that are asking, ate is the term, a Filipino term, to address people that are, women that are older than you are. So if you're a woman and you're older, the younger people would call you ate. If you're a male, they'll call you kuya. All right. Um, so let's look at this from the perspective first of New Jeans. They keep on saying something which is also being said by Min Hee-jin, and that is that they have a bond. And they were and I think a lot of people are trying to not trying to, but people don't really understand the depth of that statement, of that sentence, that they have a bond that other people won't understand. That's how Min Hee-jin put it, and that's how Nugents put it. Remember that they were minors when they were taken in by Min Hee-jin, and they were managed by Min Hee-jin. I guess because she is a woman, it gave her a lot of freedom to do certain things that won't be acceptable had she been a man, right? So, for example, if it was Bang Shiok who said that his bond with I'll It, who are all minor, well, all no, three are minors, or two are minors, but they're all very young. If he said, "Oh, we have a bond that no one will be able to understand," that is just downright creepy. And to a certain degree, it'll be 99% grooming. We will all say that. Like, what that is creepy. You're a guy and you're not supposed to do that. But because she's a woman, that's acceptable in our society, even though she's older, right? So, for example, women get away with a lot of things in this in this specific topic. So, for example, if I say me being a woman and older, and if I say uh, if there's a 16-year-old boy and I say, "Oh, he looks good. He looks good. That boy looks good." Many people would just brush it aside and say, "Yes, or just making a comment because I'm a woman." Make me a man talking about a 16-year-old girl, and that is just unacceptable. That is what happened with Min Hee-jin. There were a lot of things she was able to do that were acceptable and to a certain degree admirable just because she was a woman. She is able to stay in one room with the girls, even though many of them were minors when they all started to train under her. A Bang Shiyuk or anybody in HYBE, that won't be acceptable. Even if it is an idol who's like 25 staying in a room alone with a bunch of girls, that won't be acceptable. Now, so that I think is when the grooming happened. So a lot of the she was able to condition. She basically the girls grew up with her, and we all are children of someone. We know how much we can absorb of what our parents teach us, the kind of life that we live with our parents. That's the kind of life we get used to. Um, and even as we grow older and we have external influences coming to us, we almost always still go back to what we are used to. And that is what happened to the girls. Remember that, because I feel like we're not giving that statement enough weight, that they have a bond. Believe them, they do have a bond. It doesn't matter whether that's an acceptable bond or unacceptable or acceptable bond. That's not the question. The thing is that they do have a bond, and we're not giving that statement enough weight. Okay, so that's the thing. Second is that they were isolated from the world. Basically, they were isolated from. We see all the other high groups interacting a lot, even with BTS, who we know are very busy. I think I've mentioned to you that I know somebody from HYBE, and they are the busiest. The Big Hit is actually the busiest group, and BTS members are the busiest people in that. But they still manage to spend time with other groups. But Newjeans, they were really, really isolated. So they do not know any other way. They don't know anybody. They don't know any other culture. They don't know any other kind of life. So because they were isolated. The other thing is that Min Hee-jin did not mistreat them, meaning they she actually provided them a life of luxury, right? They were given an apartment in one Hanam, and they were given the freedom to design their or co-design or just give their instructions to an interior designer so that they can design the space the way that they like it. They were given first class tickets for their trip right off the bat. They were given vacations every 2 months, something like that. Like they would be given 2 months vacation in between comebacks, which is unheard of in the idol industry. I know that for those of you who are following Lesser of Him, they mentioned, Chewan mentioned that for the first time, 2 years since debut, they are going to go on a vacation. That's 2 years after debut. New Jeans, no. Right off the bat, in between their comebacks, they would have a vacation. So it's not like she was bad to them. In fact, she was very good to them. And so they liked that life. They enjoyed that life. Imagine you were given the kind of life, a luxurious life by your parents. You were nurtured, you were taken care of, and then you're being pulled out of it. Imagine that, right? Or maybe if you have kids, imagine your kid, you nurture your kid, you give them the kind of life that you know will be good for them, and then they're being taken away from you. So put yourself in their shoes. Next is culture. As I've said, they are very, very sheltered, and they have although there have been groups in the past, idol groups in the past, who were given like good accommodation right off the bat, just as soon as they debut. But living in that kind of an apartment, wow. And her, like BTS had to, what, they were already in their fifth year or fourth year before they actually moved into One Hanam. So this is not the convention. So the possibility, and they know what's outside, they know what's out there, they know that other groups didn't enjoy the kind of luxury that they have. And then you put them, because the current CEO is an HR manager. For those of you who are working in a corporate setting, I know that you know this. As a good HR manager, and we will assume that this one is good, and a good HR manager will be almost very, very rigid, because they know that anything that they do or say will most likely be grounds for complaints. So you they're coming from a Min Hee-jin who groomed them, so they were being treated like princesses and whatever, and then moving into an HR manager, that's a shock for them. So given all of this, it doesn't matter. Remember, look at it from their perspective. It doesn't matter whether or not it is wrong or right. This is the only thing they know. And unless people understand that and try to solve that problem from that perspective, it's not going to get resolved. And they've been groomed for like 5 years or 4 years or whatever. You cannot take them out of that frame of mind in 2 weeks or 2 months. It'll take a long, long time. And as I've said, you need to deal with the problem from their perspective. You will never, you will never, a brainwashed person, you will never pull them out of their frame of mind unless you understand their frame of mind. So it does, we know, because we're logical, we know this is wrong or whatever. It doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter. Okay. Now, if we go to how they did this, uh, this has been this is under legal advice, for sure. They got legal advice. The 14 days ultimatum that they gave HYBE is actually a 2-week notice. So anybody, if you're going to resign, or if you want to nullify a contract, usually there's a leeway, there's a number of days on when you can inform the other person when you want to nullify a contract. So the mere fact that they said on the 25th, and that's very, very specific, they had legal advice. So it is impossible that no one knew about it. But if you listen to what they said, or if you read the transcript, you'll observe three things, which is very consistent across what everybody is doing, not just them, but everybody in Min Hee-jin's camp. Number one, they always position Min Hee-jin as the hero. Second, they position HYBE as the evil. And third, they position themselves and Min Hee-jin as a victim. So the HYBE is victimizing the hero and the people that the hero is trying to save. So, for example, I think it was whoever was talking first. She said something like, "We were young and fearful of adults and society, but CEO Min Hee-jin was different, and a relationship of trust was established." So they were fearful. Imagine yourself being fearful, and then somebody comes in and say, "Okay, I'll take care of you." That person is a hero, right? When the Hani, I think, was the one who talked about, there was a certain group manager, a manager of another group from HYBE, saying, "Oh, ignore them," referring as assuming it was them. Ignore them. And then she said, "When I heard that there was nothing," so apparently she complained or something like that. And she said, "When I heard that there was nothing they could do because there was no evidence, because it's just her word, I felt like the people who could protect us were gone, and they had no intention of protecting us. I instantly felt like a liar. But Min Hee-jin fought for us." So again, Min Hee-jin is the hero. And then it's always HYBE as the evil. Some time ago, personal records from before we debuted were released, and we were really surprised to see them. I really couldn't understand how a company that was supposed to protect us could release this information. And there was a feeling of distrust that other data, so they were worried that other information may actually get leaked. So together with the CEO and their parents, we requested protection from HYBE, but HYBE ignored it. So HYBE is the evil. They're doing nothing. They're leaking the information. Now, the one thing is that usually when you sign a contract as a trainee in a company, you are releasing the rights over the footage of any kind of footage that they shoot, anything material that they produce. The it will be owned by the company. So my gut is that Source Music and Hype actually has the right to use those footages. And then they would always position Newjeans and Min Hee-jin as victims. So it's like, oh, you fired our CEO. And then they said something like they met with the management, but then they felt like whatever it is that they said was not heard. So the thing is that it is very obvious that they don't know much about, or that the structure that they know of the corporate structure, it is not the usual corporate structure that we all know, because they are employees of HYBE. They're not the bosses of HYBE. And when you're an employee, you just follow the orders. Like, okay, you say something, the boss isn't beholden to you. They don't need to follow what you say unless it's going to put you in danger. So, but they're not used to that, it seems. They feel like when they want something, it should be given to them. And if it is not given to them, then it means that they are being mistreated. But then a lot of the things that they're saying are also very general terms. They didn't really say anything specific outside of what the girl Hani talked about, that incident with the group, which, you know, it's your word against somebody else, or it's just your word. Like, the hype is right. Like, what's the evidence that it actually happened? Second, are you sure they were pertaining to you? There were a lot of other people in that area. Maybe it was somebody else. How do you know that it was you? So these simple things they get so caught up on, and I think it is because they are very sheltered. Going back to how they were raised by Min Hee-jin, they were very sheltered. Like, it's, you don't know if it was you. Second is that, well, did you record it? What is the, are we going to march there and just accuse them and punish them for something that you claim to have happened, but we don't have any evidence? And they should have known that, and they should have accepted that, but they didn't. Now, how do I know that they are being groomed? Because they don't feel empowered as people. I know that they're not being groomed because they don't feel empowered as people. When I know, for those of you who have kids, and but we are all children of somebody else, one of the things that I'm sure some or many of the parents out there taught their kids is that you have to rise above hardships, hurdles, whatever happens that is not in your favor, you need to be able to get over that. And this is one of those things. Like, okay, so the person that was managing you before was fired. It doesn't mean that you're going to tank. You're just going to have to rise above it. But they don't feel that. It's like, no, we need Min Hee-jin. No, we need Min Hee-jin. That's very, very much a sign of grooming. Um, a person who was raised properly will be taught that no matter the hurdle, you're going to get through it and you're going to rise above it. Next is that they really have no corporate or career principles. They don't know the basics. One is that, and maybe many of you will disagree, but you simply don't burn bridges, no matter how much you hate somebody. But if you know that down the road you're going to meet and work with that person again, or there is a possibility that you're going to work with that person, you just don't burn a bridge. Maybe you just don't deal with that person anymore, but you're not going to burn a bridge. Next is that you're not going to wash your dirty laundry in public. You don't do that. It's very, very classless, but they don't seem to have that basics. Next is that they always are victimizing themselves. If they are empowered, if the goal is to make sure that their dreams remain on track, that they are able to pursue the kind of music that they want, they will strategize. They are going to come together. They are going to strategize to make sure, okay, now it's just the five of us, but we were raised well by our parent, Min Hee-jin. We should know what to do. This is the plan to make sure that everything that we want will still be heard. We're going, but they don't have that. They All they want is for Min Hee-jin to come back. It's not about, okay, this is the situation that we're in, and we're going to make sure that we list some demands. We have class A demands, we have class B demands, we have class C demands, and then we're going to work together to make sure that we have the utilities that will allow us to still pursue our dreams. That's not what they're talking about. That's not what they're doing. It's just all about bring Min Hee-jin, because without her we won't be able to do that. Bring back our director, because without him we won't be able to do it. So I know that they are groomed, and I know that the intention is to bring back Min Hee-jin, and this is not about their music career. However, I do feel like everyone failed them. Their parents, Min Hee-jin and HYBE. How can you, and this is a criticism to HYBE as well, how can you leave these five girls when they were very, very young to a person like Min Hee-jin? How? Why? How did you do? I can't begin to wrap my head around it. So everyone failed them, and even their parents, probably most especially their parents. Which actually, if we pull back a little bit, this thing that came out about 50-50, the conversation, so like a conversation between the parents and the CEO of the Givers was leaked, and in that conversation they were actually gaslighting the CEO of Attract, and they were saying that, oh, Warner is going to buy the contract and things like that. So it seems that these people, like these manipulators, they know the one ticket to kids would be parents. But the parents don't have the mental fortitude and the knowledge about the industry for them to know how they are actually getting manipulated as well, which should start a conversation that this industry does not just involve the artists themselves, but also the parents. And so the parents themselves should make them educate themselves once their kid actually starts pursuing their dreams of becoming an idol or getting into the entertainment industry. The parents themselves should educate themselves on how things are done in the industry, and what the different types of people that they will meet to make sure that their kids are protected. Um, that's it. Those are my thoughts. Now, I do think that they are, I think it will be foolish for them to think that HYBE is going to reinstate Min Hee-jin. Although crazier things have happened, as we know, but it would be very, very foolish for them to think that the HYBE is going to reinstate Min Hee-jin. I think more than anything, they actually want to terminate their contract with HYBE. And so these are the steps that they are taking to give themselves better chances of getting their contract terminated. So we know that that usually doesn't work, because they are going to set a judicial precedent. Um, they're going to discourage, basically, if the court allows the contract to be terminated without fines, without a fee, then they are going to discourage a lot of these agencies to and other investors to invest in the industry. So personally, if I were if I were HYBE, just pay the fine. Go ahead, leave the company, but pay the fine. Okay, so I'll answer some of the questions They are going to get leave without paying. Yeah, so they're trying to terminate the contract. That's my thought. I think they're trying to terminate the contract without having to pay the fine, because that's a lot of money that they will have to pay. All I see is this whole bunch of kids throwing tantrum. Min Hee-jin was nice to them to the point that it was almost grooming. So sad that nobody. Yes, okay, yes. As I discussed in the first point, this they were groomed. So how can they get out of the contract? Um, there in the contract, there are terms that would allow either party to terminate the contract, and usually, if the company, for example, has been proven to do something illegal, then or something immoral that would allow them to terminate the contract, so they will have to prove that. There's usually clauses in a contract that would allow either party to terminate based on specific grounds. So usually, as I've said, if the idol or the artist wants to terminate, it's usually the company did something wrong, or they were not paid, or they were not treated well. But all of those things have to be material. You can't just say they didn't pay attention to me. The CEO of the company didn't return my greeting. That's not that's not grounds for a termination of contract. So they have to prove that they were mistreated, that the money that they made was misused or something like that. It would be better to hold them and not let them succeed in. um some people would do that. We know SM has done it before, with JYJ, with TVXQ. When three members of TVXQ sued the company to nullify the contract, what happened was that the court ordered the three members to pay SM a specific amount out of all the income that they will be getting for 7 years. So 7 years from the time the decision was made, like a certain percentage of their earnings actually go to SM as payment. But then, because of the power and hold of SM and influence of SM in the industry, they weren't able to do like TV appearances. They weren't able to promote. Um, so something like that has been done by SM. I don't know if HYBE would be in that game. Why did HYBE even hire this div? That's also my question. I don't know why no one saw through her. I don't know why she was given such powers. I don't know. Ignoring them now can be called as mistreatment. Not wishing them can be called bullying. HYBE could hold them until their contract runs out, kick them their parents out of their factory. HYBE should make them pay the fine. Yeah, that's also my thought process. That would be what I would want to happen. Just pay the fine. Go ahead, do whatever it is that you want to do. Just pay the fine, pay the contract. Newjeans became a liability, not an asset. It is. They are a liability to HYBE now. Some in Korean industry already showing interest. Some are saying SM or Yisuman may be interested in Newjeans later if they successful in suing termination. They should go to SM. Maybe Min Hee-jin shaman charmed by Bang PD. Oh my god. I don't know. I don't want to be malicious about it. So I don't want to think about that. They're looking at a fine between 400 to 900 million USD. They don't have that money. Yes, they do not have that money. I don't know if that it could be that much. 400 million. It could be that much. If another company person covers it, they will be in a slave contract for the rest of their lives. True. HYBE has been accused of many things already, so it doesn't matter. HYBE should do whatever is necessary. I'm sure they'll do that. I think they're trying to get this done before the return of BTS. When BTS comes back as seven, no one's going to pay attention. It's just all going to be BTS. Korean media will try to take the attention away from BTS. This the Korean liars that are uh, masquerading as Korean media. They will try to get the attention to away from BTS, but the international attention will be all on BTS, and so they will not have a choice. So they're trying to get everything done before, maybe even before the return of J Hope, because J Hope, that guy is going to make a splash. Believe me, that man is not going to just walk in a park. He's not going to do that. He's going to make it big. He's going to go on tour. I hope. How will this tarnish HYBE and Newjeans? I don't know if they will be tarnished. I mean, on a bigger picture, Korean society likes demonizing big companies. So and HYBE is a big company now. So they're sort of, I guess it's a natural progression that they are getting to that stage. Um, where is Tail and his? I've made my statement on about Taeyong. So fans won't let it happen to BTS. Yeah, no. J-Hope, yes, J-Hope. Unfortunately, it looks like Min Hee-jin is using the group to devalue the stock prices to attain her sinister goal. Could be, could be that she is trying to implement her original goal, which is to make Adore an empty shell. Can New Jeans make any money now? Yeah, they can if they start working. Bang PD was very trusting. He was very trusting. Our son is back. He is back in almost a month. Could Hybe merge Adore back into Source Music now? They should. And they should also not make Source Music pay for the training of New Jeans. Does New Jeans think that they have attained the level that they can give ultimatum to Hybe? I think so. I think they have, because they have been told this many, many times that they are contributing a lot to the bottom line of Hybe. So I think they kind of feel that they are now that they, if not the ace, then one of the aces. Nothing can touch true. Nothing can touch BTS. Okay, so let's go to the next topic. And this is just going to be very short. Someone asked me, what is my opinion on versions of an album or versions of a song remixes, because there's a lot of songs that are coming out with remixes and stuff like that, and they feel like it's not authentic hit because you're just creating different remixes so that you can rank in Billboard. Okay, number one, this is a practice that is being done not just by Korean groups or Korean soloists. Taylor Swift has a lot of versions. The Weeknd has a lot of versions. So this conversation, if people want to talk about it, it has to be a global conversation, not just one person, not just Korean groups or Korean soloists. If you're just going to be talking about Korean performers or Asian performers or foreign performers or artists, then it's just you're just being racist. Like what? Why are you targeting just the Korean performers or artists or whatever? It has to be a global conversations because we all know that Taylor Swift and The Weeknd, they have all been coming releasing numerous different versions of their songs, of their albums. So if that is on the table, it has to be a global conversation. That's number one. Second is that remember for Koreans, even for BTS, they don't have a lot of power over radio. So you just need to sort of supplement what you don't have. Since you don't have the influence in the US on radio, which is a huge part of ranking, then you're just gonna have to make it somewhere else, make up for it somewhere else. The same way, it's the same principle in marketing. If I don't have the money in for TV commercials, for example, I'm just gonna have to beef up my social media because that's cheaper, live events because that's cheaper. And you can't say if I do like 25 live events or if I post 100 times a day on social media, you can say you're unfair that you're posting 100 times when this bigger artist is posting only once a week. Well, I don't have the TV support that she's getting, so I'm trying to make up for it. So the same principle, in my opinion, applies to different versions of an album. If this is just a way for some artists to make up for what they do not have. Um, Now, does it make a song less of a hit when there are different versions? This is a subjective more than an objective opinion, because if you're going to question that, then you're going to be questioning the career and success of The Weeknd, of Taylor Swift. But again, we're going to go back to, are you just applying this to Korean soloists or Korean groups? Um, Personally, though, I think different versions of a song, that's fine. For as long as they're different. But if you're going to change a note and call it a different version, that is not a remix. So I think it's fine. I have more issues with different physical versions of an album. If you have like 20, like 80 different versions, someone actually did. If you have 80 different versions of an album, physical album, like why? That's just what, and it's the same songs. If it's digitally released, I think that's fine. There's no physical damage. And again, it goes back to me, are the remixes actual remixes? Is there something really different about it? So that's my take on the different remixes. Now for the last topic, which is solos. So to be open, for the sake of transparency, I you love remixes. I do too. I mean, if they're good, I would love them. BTS did an awesome job by organic promo that the entertainment world is upset because BTS did not use radio marketing, which is traditional marketing of music. Yeah, that's what actually uh, Nam RM said in an interview in Billboard. I think it was in Billboard when he said that if we're playing by your rules, and if you're questioning our success that is based on your rule, then you probably should change your rule. Which is so badass of RM to say that. Yeah, I mean, if it's a nice remix, I have no problem with it. If it's really a different feel, not a problem. If they don't do it, somebody else is going to be making a remix. They're going to do their own interpretation, and and another person is going to split the income. So why not just do it yourself? And then yes, the major thing is that when BTS did it, they couldn't believe it because BTS did not have a US label at that time. Colombia was actually just doing their distribution, but they didn't really have a US. So everyone was shocked when BTS did it. Okay. Rainbow, unfortunately, they come across as entitled and spoiled brats. Oh, you're still talking about. Okay. I'd like more simple, affordable options. I don't need 10 different packages, just one. Yeah, I think I have more of a problem with the physical versions of an album. I understand, like, if there's like four versions, that's fine. But if there's like 155 different versions, like, why? Why would I? And it's the same content. The stock went up when they fired her. Yeah, this is a big sign of investing is also a long game. True. Yeah, different. So if you guys, I know that if you're following me on Twitter, I do talk about stocks a lot. That is not a financial advice, so please be very, very careful. Again, full disclosure, I do invest in stocks. I think I'm okay with it. I haven't lost money, knock on wood. But that's not financial advice. Be very careful. Study what you're doing with your money. Does Min Hee-jin have to be the CEO? Can they just give her a good production contract, or she won't take that? They gave her a 4-month production contract, I think, and she rejected it because she felt like, why? There's a world tour coming up, and a 4-month contract will not allow me to prepare well for that. But they gave her a producer contract. He's a classy savage king. Yes, and it's his birthday. I agree with your comment. Institutional investors are not easily swayed by drama like this. Yes, I mean, even like invest, if you've been investing long enough, you don't really pay attention. Like, if I invest, the last thing I want to know is the if I'm going to invest in an entertainment company. The last thing I want to know is who's beefing in that company. I don't care. I really don't. There are different investors have different ways of making a decision. Some would just look at the technical charts. There are charts that we look at and see, okay, it's going down, up, whatever. Some would like want to see. There is an investor that actually looks at the mentions, like social media mentions of a company before they invest. And then there are some that would like new developments, like if they're investing in a pharmaceutical company, they want to see like, oh, what are they doing now, new cure for cancer or something like that. Then they know the demand is going to go up, then they invest. So different investors, different preferences. There is no um, one template for everybody. Is Min Hee-jin still at the door? Right now, she's not. Your uncle or or uncle will wait for price fall and buy when prices go low. That is my style. So I'm constantly praying for prices to go down. I buy when it's low, but I can't. You can't totally time the market. 2-month contract, which she refused to sign. Yes, that's what they offered Min Hee-jin. They offered her a 2-month contract as a producer, and she rejected it. At this point, I don't think Newjeans can keep up. Okay. After the last change of law, if all members of a group are not with the company anymore, the name trademark can be moved to a company instead of the old company. But they still have to pay. They can't. So they will be required to sell, but they still have to pay unless the company voluntarily gives the name, like what JYP did for GOT7. He just gave them the trademark. All of BTS continued their schooling after college, and except Jin, studied business and finance related in broadcasting and public relations. Yes, true. They all did their MBAs, their master's degree. Yeah, all K-pop companies had declined, but not this non-stop scandals for HYBE. Okay, I'm tired of audacity of New Jeans. Is this the biggest controversy so far? It is the noisiest. Bang PD encouraged BTS to study advertising, business, and finance so they can have. What do you think of YG and Black Label future? YG is liquidating hard. They're liquidating a lot of companies that they invested in or put up. I do think that they eventually will recover, and I will never wish ill of anybody. Just want to put it out there. Never will I wish ill of anybody. I am scared of karma. I believe in karma, so I'll never wish ill of anybody. They have employees. Those employees have dependents. They have families. I don't ever want them to lose their job. But they are liquidating hard, and I think it's a good move. They are in a financial crisis right now that's undeniable, but they do have a group that could potentially get them out of it, or two groups actually. Blackpink is still with them, and Bad Baby Monster. So if they could be reasonable in their expenses and drop, because I think what happened is that they did the fake it till you make it strategy, which worked for them for a while. So they would really spend a lot. They would buy the tickets of an entire stadium, whatever is left over, just so they can say it's sold out. Things like that. They spent a lot on music videos, and that allowed them to position their artists as glamorous artists and stuff like that. But obviously, it's not returning as well. So the mere fact that and then they expanded on a lot of markets that were more really for positioning, like a golf company that's really more for positioning than anything else. So if they will just control their spending, they do have a chance, because they still have Blackpink, and they have Baby Monsters, and Baby Monsters are popular. So the group members, the Baby Monster is popular. Okay, Big Hit is not hype. Yes, Big Hit is a private company. Port 21 is going back during BTS comeback. Well, no, BTS actually shines a light on the entire industry when they come back. So they benefit. Everyone benefits from BTS. What the kid wants is to work as a happy. Okay. So the last topic, because it's almost an hour, and I'm sure that for some of you it's already very late. For solos. So just full transparency, I know a lot of you hate solos. Um, I don't necessarily hate all solos. I am, in fact, in communication with a lot of solo fans. A lot of them communicate with me. If you are a member of my Patreon, a lot of them actually became a member of my Patreon, because not all of them are hostile. This is my take. As BTS members, and that applies to other groups as well, as they grow old and move out of the group, or become less dependent on the group, because you can't become so active forever, right? Because eventually some of them will get married, or they just want to slow down because they're tired, or they want to pursue other things. So they can't be as active with the group as they used to. And because BTS, more than anybody else, they really are doing the right thing for their future, establishing themselves as solo performers. So as they do that, it is natural for them to get their own fans. And I can't require anybody who's going to discover them as solo artists to become a fan of the other six as well, right? That's unreasonable, because that's the whole point. That's why they're releasing music that are different aesthetics, music, genre, the way they promote, they're all different because they want their own lane. So not everyone will be like OGs, like armies that we will support everybody. So this is my, and I understand that and I respect that. And so this is my only requirement. If you want to have a conversation with me, just as long as you're not nasty to other members and that you're not victimizing the member, you're not saying that, oh, he's not being promoted well and the group is mistreating him, or the company is mistreating him, we're good. If your only thing is that you're very supportive of one member and then you're just either cordial or you're just not paying attention to other members, that's fine for me. So that's where I stand when it comes to solos. For as long as you're not nasty, rude, disrespectful to other members, we're good. I will be friendly with you. I will have a conversation with you. And if you're not victimizing that member, we're good. The minute you do something that will disrespect the other members, then I will just not talk to you. So if you see me post anything on Twitter or whatever, and you feel like, oh, that's a solo, at least be guaranteed that I already, as much as I can, quality check their timeline and see that they are not, in fact, rude to other members. Now, I'm not beyond mistakes. I'm sure I missed some. So just tell me, like, hey, that person that you retweeted or talked about or tagged or whatever, that person is chaotic and he's rude and whatever. I will take that down and I will apologize. So that's just my take on solos. Also, there are this some of these people who are very devoted to us, one member. They also go through stuff, and sometimes this is their way of um, of escaping their very not very good life. Like, this is where they get their happiness or whatever. So I don't want to take that away from them. So as I've said, for as long as you're respectful to other members, or at the very least you just don't pay attention, that's fine. Don't be rude to other members, don't be disrespectful, and we're good. Okay. um any question? BTS taken a huge hit. BTS has taken a huge hit of what? I'm coming into this conversation in the middle. So, but a huge hit on what? I don't think BTS has taken a huge hit from how their songs are charting. Oh, that was sarcastic. Okay. All right. What do you think of SM Entertainment's new virtual artist? Oh, God. I know that this is where we're headed as a society, that we're going to start standing virtual people. It's not for me. I'll say that. It's not for me. I mean, it's one thing if this person, if it's an animated character, because I mean, I'm a huge fan of manga, of cartoons. I'm good. I'm a huge fan of that. I love Transformers. Who's a paid person? Who? Me. Who is the paid person? So I need the moderator. Someone told me I need the moderator. But who? Tell me, who is a paid person? Message retracted. Do you think that Min Hee-jin? Oh, so just to finish my thought on the virtual artist, I know that this is where we're headed as a society, but not that we have not been Illmatic. Oh, Illmatic. Are you? It's not a rumor. Do you know how much Suga's image has taken a hit in Korea? I don't know. Okay. Okay. So that should solve it. All right. So just talking about the virtual, we have been fans um, of cartoon characters, of animated characters. So this is, I guess, the next step in the evolution phase. um, so I will treat that as I do any animated character. That it's an animated character. It's not an artist for me. There is an artist that's writing the music, but that Nevis, I think is the name. That's not an artist for me. It's just animated character. Jin has an album coming out sometime this year too, and I would be surprised if Jin. Do you still see Illmatic? Virtual Idol seems to do better in Asia and Japan, especially. True. Do you think that Newjeans has a chance of not paying their termination? There is always a possibility for crazier things have happened, so there's always that possibility. But legally, it's a very slim chance. J Hope and Tour sounds so tasty. Yes, I actually said in my. If you guys are a member of my Patreon, you do know that we have that I am offering in Patreon for my Patreon subscribers. I'm offering that I will actually be buying the maximum amount of tickets allowed, and whatever I don't use, I'm just going to sell at cost. But the priority would be my Patreon subscribers. I do hope that J Hope, if he goes on tour, he actually do a stadium tour instead of an arena, because I remember Suga saying that he was sick half the time when he was doing a tour because just because of the toll on his body. So I hope that if he does stadium tour, maybe he can do less and can rest more in between. Do you think that Min Hee-jin cherry picks what Newjeans looks at on the internet like dolphins? I'm sure she does. And there's also a way to spin things. If you are a manipulator, there will always be a way to spin things and stories. And you will always, if you are the manipulated, you tend to believe the person that's talking to you, that's spinning the news. And J Hope has Lola as a proof, yes. Jin's album is coming. True color revealed, right? Okay. Yes, it's Arim's birthday. So please greet him. Follow the link in the description and sign up for if you decide if you want to join. Yes. So if you want to join my Patreon community, there is a free membership, a free tier. Of course, you're not going to get all the benefits that the paid ones are getting. But I mean, I actually decided, so we have different channels there where we chat and communicate. There's one channel there that I opened up to just everybody, just as an experiment. I still release some content that is for everybody, so you will get access to that. You can have a conversation with me. You can send me a message. So just to try it out, go ahead and sign up for free. Newjeans were given 5 million bonus. Lucky them, not all groups. Yeah. I mean, I'm happy for them. You already sent RM a birthday wish. Don't forget to post it on Weverse as well, okay? Not just on Twitter or Instagram or whatever. Looking forward to Jen's. Yes, I'm also looking forward to that. Check the description box to this live. I believe there is a Patreon link in the description box. I would look for the link. Yes, in the description box. Do you have any other question? Is there, if you have any other topic that you want me to talk about, let me know. I will try to do more lives. If, as I've said, I will probably split the lives. I will do lives that are specific to BTS and K-pop. I'll do other lives for Asian entertainment. Many of you are asking me about like how I invest, how I grow my money. So I can give you some tips. Just know that I am not a financial advisor, okay? So you cannot take that as a financial advice. You can use that as an initial research. So I'll do that on a separate live as well, maybe, or do spend like 5 minutes at the end of the live to answer questions that are related to investing and growing money or whatever. Asian and culture. Yeah, I know. I actually am looking for help now because it's getting a little too much. That's why I'm not posting as much anymore about Asian culture. I need to go back to that. But yes, I'm actually looking for somebody that will help me in just all of these things because it's a lot. I can't keep up. I love your Patreon. Thank you, Min and Park, old CEO, but not on two. Okay, sure, Sunny. What is your favorite music these days? Of course, BTS. I have always been, before I even got into K-pop, I was actually listening to J-pop a lot. So I do J-rock. Hikaru Utada is one of my favorites. One OK Rock is one of my favorites. A lot of rappers, like old rappers of J-pop. So that there are Malaysian singers that I follow, Mongolian singers that I follow. So I really listen to Asian music a lot. I really love it. That's actually why I started Asian entertainment and culture. I do listen to some Western artists as well, but I would say that my playlists would be 80% Asian, 20% West to Subtour. I hope that they will do like a special show when J Hope actually completes his service. The lyrics part of Never Play. Yeah, they paved the way. If Newjeans sues, will it halt their activities within HYBE Adore? I'm not a fan of the group. I'm curious about the legal implications. Um, it shouldn't halt, even if the loss. There are different ways they can go about it. If the court allows a cease and desist order, meaning if Nugin says we do not want to work because it's going to put us in danger or something, then all activities will stop. But if the court says nope, you're gonna have to fulfill your obligations while we're going through this, then they have to. So it'll depend. It can go both ways. What's the law that says solos are worthless to a band group because they came to love and support just one members? Yeah, Alex, I agree with you. I definitely agree. I think solo first long again, don't be rude to other members, don't be nasty to other members. I'm good with you. For as long as you're okay with other members. I've never been to a BTS concert. How much should I expect if J-Hope goes on tour? How much was Suga's? The ticket that I got for Suga was 600, I believe, without taxes. Um, yeah, 600. The people don't expect that the old price will be the same. Inflation, okay? The money has gone down. The value of money has gone down. So expect that it's going to be more expensive. Big from Italy. I had to leave. Okay, bye. Yes, I agree. He is charting well, so he were not really affected. My sugar ticks was 130. I had my pre sound check. Oh yes, it was divine. What are you looking for? Writer, researcher, editor. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Mar. Have a nice day. Good night, everyone. Yeah, so we're coming into the last hour. I mean, last 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes. So if you have questions, let me know. There seems to be a lot of backlash to RM's rapping for Asia Man. We paved the way. Yeah, everybody that is a hater of BTS, right? That's they hate it. But it's not even bragging. It's just telling the truth. He's telling the truth. The one advantage, I've said this many times in my Patreon community, one advantage of BTS is that they have a lot of Western fans. And Western fans don't really care about the things that Korean fans are saying. The Korean haters are saying. Like, we just like the band. So you go be angry. If Newjeans leave, do they get to keep? I have like 2 minutes. If Newjeans leave, do they get to keep anything? The name, the music videos, or this that stay with Adore and HYBE. If all of them leave at the expiration of their contract, then HYBE will have to release the name to them, but they still need to pay for it. Now, if they win the lawsuit, if they sue HYBE and they win the lawsuit, then the court can actually require HYBE to give up the rights to the name, but they can't. The law can say give that to them for free. Okay, the court cannot say that. They will have to be paid. Backlash for RM only from K-pop is, yeah. I'm a GP. I can tell you he is telling the truth. Yes, he's telling the truth. When BTS concert comes, please, I beg you for a detailed tutorial on how to buy tickets. I'm official army. I will do one. Yes, Sunny. That's what exactly. Okay. One last minute, last 60 seconds. Any other question that you want to ask? Nothing wrong with solos as long as other members are respected, not acceptable. Yes, as for as long as they are, if for as long as they are respectful of other members, not victimizing their favorite, I'm good with them. Can Newjeans file human rights injustice in the International Court or UN? They can file. Anybody can file. The question is whether UN is going to hear it or not. UN usually deals with like countrywide injustice, not something like this. I would need a whole chain of miracles for me to even consider going to a concert. Belai, Belai tricks. You have to believe that you can do it, because if you start saying I can't, then you won't do anything to make it happen. But if you start believing you can do it, then you will start doing something about it. In the end, maybe you still don't go, but maybe you find a better job or save some more money so that you can do something else, right? So you have to change that mind frame. You don't say that you can't. You can't. Don't say that. Start with I can do this. Let me do something about it. I like BTS being part of MMA Awards, Asian and Culture. What do you propose for the 16th floor renovation? They have a lot of trophies. Somebody posted a photo of their trophies. It seems that there are a lot that is just kept somewhere in the basement or something, and they're getting more for their solo career. So I would say that put the trophies there, or maybe for armies, just in case we want, like make it a museum that we can build. There's already HYBE inside. Thank you. Have a beautiful day. Okay, yeah, it's already an hour. Thank you so much. They should use at least for paperweight. Trophy floor. Yes, trophy floor. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining my live. I am, as I've said, experimenting with the different days, different times, what's going to be better for everybody. And once I will do maybe a survey and see what is the best time for you to watch the live and see how I'm going to juggle everything. But just send in the questions. Follow me on Patreon. Be a member of my Patreon community. There is a free membership. Follow me on Twitter or on X so we can have great conversations, and also follow me on Instagram. I'll start updating that as well. Thank you. Right now, highly. Right now is good for you. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Bye.